3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Go ahead, Nathan. Do your thing.
We're here to pick the new king or queen of seafood from all these great chefs from all over the United States. Great opportunity for them to showcase their best dish when the pressure's on. And hopefully we can keep the crown here in Louisiana. But there's some tough competition here today. King or queen of seafood will travel the country and the world with us to promote Louisiana seafood and the great food and culture we have here in Louisiana. Great opportunity for he or she to get their talents out there, and it draws a lot of people back to Louisiana to eat at their restaurant and to experience the great food we have here. If another chef was win, it would do the same thing for them in their state. So we're very excited today to have such. We filled up, so we couldn't take any more and finish in the timeline. So there's a pretty good competition here today.
Seafood is king, you know. I mean, it's growing in popularity. The sustainability factor of the seafood is at everybody's, it's just top of mind. You know, so what I'm seeing here, we have 17 chefs. 17. That's grown over the years, and it's only going to get bigger and better.
Today we're doing our crawfish and goat cheese king cake. It's great roots. It starts to the beginning of January 6th, All King's Day, and goes all the way through Mardi Gras Day. What better way to represent the state of Louisiana than a king cake?
How long have you been cooking?
Depending on professionally or amateur, you know. I mean, I kind of grew up right on the coattails of my father as a young kid, and I started probably cooking professionally probably about 15 years ago.
What do you like the most about cooking with Louisiana seafood?
It's the best in the world. You can't beat the great Louisiana shrimp, Louisiana crab, and crawfish.
What do you have advice for the person, maybe first time cooking Louisiana seafood?
You don't need to do much, you know, let the seafood speak for itself. It's great just left alone. You can take nice, beautiful lump crab meat and just eat it like that.
I'm doing a bacon wrapped Texas redfish with sweet corn puree, fingerling potatoes, and barbecue demi sauce, chipotle demi sauce. So you gotta have that Texas heat.
How long have you been cooking?
I've been cooking for the past 15 years.
What's the trick to cooking with really good seafood?
It's being patient and making sure that you take your time. So just showing love.
What advice do you have to the chef at home?
Just take your time. You know, pick something that you love, something that you know, and take your time with it, and make sure that it comes out good.
What's the trick to winning a contest like this?
Planning, lots of planning. So you make sure that you figure out all the odds and ends that could happen, and just make sure you're ready for it.
We're doing a lobster-crusted cod with a little corn chowder, and we're gonna make like a chorizo potato hash, just a little bit of everything from New England.
What are the roots of this dish?
My first restaurant, I had it on the menu at my first restaurant, a version of this, and I've always loved it. The corn we use is super sweet. The lobster's right out of Maine, and the cod is local. So it's just, I feel like this is what people think of when they think of Massachusetts.
What are the seafood options in Massachusetts?
There's a variety of seafood options, but obviously cod, scallops, lobster, those are the ones that people think of. But we have the oceans are all around us, so we have everything.
How long have you been a chef, and what's your favorite part of being a chef when it comes to cooking seafood?
My favorite part of being a chef is I've been a chef for over 25 years. My favorite part of cooking seafood is probably that I'm constantly learning, constantly evolving, and constantly evolving my skills probably. And I love to see what other people are doing with variety of seafood, and I bring it back to the house and we play with it.
What's the trick to winning a competition like this?
I don't know. We'll see at the end of the competition what the trick is. Yeah.
So today we're representing Colorado, and we really wanted to celebrate the Colorado trout and really everything that the Rocky Mountains do for us in Colorado. So corn from the east all the way across to the western slope with fresh peaches and dill, just everything Colorado.
What's it like cooking with seafood from Colorado?
You know, it's really limited cooking with seafood from Colorado. Obviously we don't have a sea, so river fish, farmed fish, and really, you know, we buy a bunch of incredible sustainable seafood from around the world.
What's the trick to winning a competition like this?
You know, the trick to winning a competition like this is really to be well prepared, understand what you're doing, and stick to your plan. Just stay on course and we'll be okay.
What advice do you have for someone at home watching this and may want to try cooking seafood for the first time?
You know, I think what you'll see today is that really careful pan control and understanding your ingredients is going to be key. So if you want to cook seafood at home, just pay attention to what the result is. Don't try to speed things up or slow things down. Just really stay on course.
Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm cooking a red snapper with heirloom tomatoes, some fresh herbs, and fried shallots.
Is this a California dish?
It's actually a celebration of the multiculturalism of my state, and I'm going to make a little soy bourbon glaze to bring it back here to Louisiana.
How long have you been a chef, and what do you like about cooking with seafood?
I've been a chef for 14 years, and what I really love about cooking with seafood is how fresh it is and how much finesse and delicacy you need with it, and it shows a lot of skill.
What's the trick to winning a competition like this?
I think the trick with winning any competition is being able to keep your cool and really be able to showcase what you can do in a small amount of time.
About that Hail State thing over there, I think.
We're doing a stuffed Mississippi redfish with some crab. We're sauteing some shrimp, some crawfish, sauteing some leeks, and we're topping it off with some Mississippi River caviar.
So this is a traditional Mississippi dish.
Yeah, and it's really, I wanted to use all aspects of Mississippi, the Mississippi River on the west coast, the coast on the south, border, and then crawfish throughout the state.
Well, how long have you been a chef, and what do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
I think I've been cooking for about 10 years, and I love part of the seafood. You can use the whole animal, and use, it's hard to get a whole cow sometimes, but with a whole fish or shrimp, you can use shells. So I really love kind of using the whole animal.
STEELE inside of 10 minutes from New York doing his thing.
Today we're making a scallop tostada with some scallops from Montauk, New York, and some local produce that we brought down from New York as well.
Tell us about the New York inspiration for this dish.
Well, at my restaurant, what we do is we cook Oaxacan food with local New York ingredients. So basically we're trying to do the same thing here. We're bringing down some fish and the produce from New York and cooking it up the way we do at the restaurant.
How long have you been a chef, and what do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
I've been a chef for over 10 years now, and I guess what I like the most about things that come from the ocean is there's more options. So many different things. Always can find something you've never seen before. It's pretty exciting.
What advice do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking seafood?
Try not to overthink it. Keep it pretty simple and pay attention to what you're doing. Don't overcook it.
Today we're featuring Georgia shellfish. We have Georgia white shrimp. We'll put a little pickle on that, served with a Sepulveda Island clam vinaigrette with some charred scallions, avocado, and watermelon.
What are the seafood options from Georgia?
Anything off the coast is great, and that's where we're featuring the shellfish. You have a great a drum, wreckfish, bass, all the coastal fish. You can pull some flounder, striped bass, and then on the mountainside we have great bass and great trout in the northern part of Georgia.
What's the secret to cooking in a competition like this?
Rock it out, get it done, make it taste good.
What advice do you have for the chef at home?
Don't overcook your fish. You can always cook it more, you can't go the other way.
I'll make it easier on you, all right? Because we are under 5 minutes now.
Today I have some South Carolina hogfish paired with some Palmetto Farms sewn grits, some butter poached shrimp, and a Carolina blue crab butter sauce.
What are the seafood options in South Carolina?
Our seafood options are very large. We have a lot of grouper, a lot of snappers, a variety of flounder. We have all kinds of. I'm actually in the seafood capital of South Carolina, Murrells Inlet, South Carolina. So I actually got my fish off the boat and met the captain, and I have pictures of my actual fish coming from the boat. So we're actually dock to table in South Carolina.
What advice do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking up some seafood?
Just take it slow. Don't over season. Don't overcook. Just keep it simple and let the fish actually talk for itself.
Today I'm gonna kind of do my rendition of a island style fisherman stew, kind of a reconstructed stew. We brought over some parrotfish. Parrotfish is indicative to the tropics. It's a very colorful fish that's light in texture, very flaky, very tender. We're going to be serving that with some mangrove crab and corn bisque. And then we're also going to serve that with a sweet potato cake.
What type of seafood options do you have on Guam?
Well, Guam, we're an island, so there's a lot of seafood, and we have brackish water prawns, we have mangrove crab, we have tons of tropical fish, we have an array of different crab species there. We have coconut crab. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but coconut crab is pretty much limited to a few islands in the Pacific. They're born in the ocean, and then they spend the rest of their lives on land, which is interesting. And then, like I said, we have a whole bunch of different tropical fish.
What's the best thing about cooking with seafood?
I come from a culture that thrived off of seafood, that lived off of seafood, and what I love about seafood is it's sweet, it's tender, and you can do all kinds of things with it.
We're going to do a pan-fried trout. Then we have a Nigerian salt prawns that I'm going to do a little Chinese type fry on it with egg whites. Then we have a blue corn masa spoon bread. And then we're going to have a chorizo cream sauce with some local Arkansas cherry tomatoes and scallion.
Is this a traditional Arkansas dish?
It's not traditional, but we do a lot of trout fishing and stuff. My restaurant, we do a lot of Asian and Hispanic flair to our dishes, so that's kind of what we're going to roll with.
What do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
The freshness, man. You get it flown in the next day, and you just kind of use through it. So,
what advice do you have for someone at home cooking up seafood maybe for the first time?
Be very careful with it. It can overcook fast.
From station to station. We have our chef from Tennessee. We haven't bothered them too much.
I am making trout two ways. So I will have a rainbow trout and prepare it with some vegetables, and then I will have a pea risotto topped with a honey and balsamic glazed steelhead trout.
Is this a traditional Pennsylvania dish?
The fish is traditional to Pennsylvania, but this is just my little spin on what I like.
How long have you been a chef, and what do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
Oh, I love cooking with seafood because it's very healthy and good for you. And I got into culinary late. I've always been in the business, but I got my culinary degree when I was 47. So today I'm representing Pennsylvania at 54 years old.
Tonight we're bringing something really interesting, something I'm super excited about. We're doing a hooligan wrapped halibut cheek on a bed of couscous with red harissa and some seasonal Alaskan produce.
What is the Alaska roots for this dish?
So hooligan is actually very quintessential to Alaskan culture. It's really cool. Candlefish have been around in Alaska forever. Some of the native indigenous routes were actually based on the transportation of the candlefish, which is really cool.
How long have you been a chef?
3 years.
What's it like cooking with Alaska seafood?
It's incredible. It's so fun. We have so many options, and we're so spoiled in the seafood that we get to use.
What's it like cooking in a competition like this?
This is actually my first time, so I'm really excited to get to come and throw down with some of the best.
We're doing Florida red snapper today, straight from Clearwater.
How is this dish prepared?
Well, we're going to be doing it two operations today on this, and what we're going to be doing is a seared and also a fried. And it's going to be a really interesting dish because we're using all the Florida elements. We're bringing some floral aspects to it, and I think you guys will really enjoy this.
What's it like cooking with Florida seafood?
Oh, it's the best. Gotta love it, man. It's right straight from the water, from the boat, right to our kitchens.
What is the trick to making really good seafood?
You know what? It's such a delicate item that it's all in the love and how we prepare our seafood, and it's just taking really good care, and just when we prepare our food is just, we do it top notch.
What recommendation do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking seafood?
You know, my favorite way of cooking seafood, especially when it's a skin-on product like what we're using, is searing it in a good cast iron pan.
How long have you been a chef?
35 years.
What do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
Oh, just the flavors of the sea, my friend. This is what really turns me on.
What's it like cooking in a competition like this?
It's a lot of fun. You like to see who your other competitors are, see who's out there, see what everybody's doing, and seeing how we all just blend and meld together.
Chefs using the different seafoods, the different preparations, all of these great ingredients.
Today we have a hot catfish, deconstructed potato salad, and a celery slaw.
Is this a traditional Tennessee dish?
Traditional Tennessee with a twist on it, yes.
What's it like cooking with seafood from Tennessee?
It's really nice, freshest you can get, really, straight from the river.
How long have you been a chef, and what do you like the most about cooking with seafood?
Well, I've been cooking for about 5 years, or working in kitchens for about 5 years, and favorite thing about seafood is that I get to eat it, really. Just, yeah, across the board. You get to eat it.
You can see it all right here, what it is, what it's made out of.
I'm making a red snapper escabeche. It's a traditionally it's a Peruvian dish. I'm originally from Peru, so I'm making this traditional Peruvian dish with a Gulf snapper. It goes with calamar olives causa, some potatoes with ají amarillo and calamar olives, and on top of that I have the snapper and the escabeche sauce.
What's it like cooking with Alabama seafood?
Oh, it's great. The product is amazing. It's fresh, it's delicious, and we're very happy to have the Gulf that we can get our resources from. Yeah.
Now, I understand that the two of you guys have been here before. Tell us about that.
Chef Josh Quick, he won the Alabama Seafood Cook-Off in 2016. We were here that year for the Great American Seafood Cook-Off. It was a great experience. Yeah, we're glad to be back.
Josh, tell us what kind of advice are you going to have as a former winner?
We've worked together on this dish, and our advice has just been to stay focused on making a great product, and this dish is delicious, and just going to execute it in the time frame they give us.
What advice do you have for the chef at home when it comes to cooking seafood?
Just don't cook it too much. Let the fish, just cook it just enough so you get all those delicious, juicy flavors out of the fish.
A little private, a little public. I did a whole lot of.
I've been a chef for too long. Well, no, not really. 22 years I've been a chef. I started cooking, my first job was when I was 16 in Seattle, but my first official line cook position was when I was 20. That's the 22 years, starting at 20. I got my start working for a guy named Tom Douglas, who's a very well-known chef in Seattle, seafood enthusiast like myself, and that's kind of where I got my start and passion for local ingredients, beautiful seafood from the Pacific Northwest. Today I'm cooking Washington State black cod. It's tribal caught black cod from Olympic Peninsula, also known as sablefish, as well as some manila clams from Penn Cove.
What's it like cooking with Washington State seafood?
It's the best. I mean, you really have like some of the best seafood in all the world, I think, when it comes to shellfish and other types of seafood as well. Just incredible products with, super clean, fresh taste with our beautiful clean waters out there in the Pacific Northwest, and very unique also, I think, to the area.
What's the trick to winning a competition like this?
I think you have to be really cool. I think you have to be funny. Cooking-wise, I think you have to just have really delicious food and hopefully tell a story about why you're cooking it. And ultimately, my goal is to just represent Washington State with the ingredients.
I just want to thank all the chefs, the fans that have come with them, for coming here and making this event special. And no matter who wins, there are no losers here today. Incredible chefs from all over the country. Let's give them all a great round of applause. Thank you all very much.
All right, so let's get the ball rolling. Who's ready? All right, y'all, come on. Starting with third place, right, Corey? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Third place, Guam. All right, whoa. All right, congratulations,
Wow.
Peter. All right, here we go. We got second place. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Chef Jorel Pierce from Colorado. All right, baby. Top two. Congratulations. Awesome. Corey and Jorel, good job, guys.
Great
Congrats,
job.
congrats. That's amazing. They're one of our Smart Catch partners. Y'all give a hand to Colorado. That's it. All right, so we got a little tradition in this cook-off where our outgoing king, Chef Ryan Trahan,
the man,
will place this crown on our incoming king. So they got to take a knee, all right? So who's ready? Y'all ready for this?
Come on, y'all. Wait, hold on. First place, we need to make some noise, baby. Let's hear y'all. This is big, man.
Woo! I get nervous doing this.
Man.
Chef Nathan Richard. No way. Yes, let's go, baby. Come on, man. Good job, man. Come on. Congrats. Good job. Good job. Good job. Back to back, man. Come on. All right. Wow. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Come on.
I couldn't believe it. You know, it's a lot of great competitions right now that are happening. You come up to this level, you never know what people are going to bring to the table, and we brought our A game for sure.
What did you cook?
We did a crawfish. Well, we did a Louisiana seafood king cake with goat cheese icing, and then in that king cake we had everything that represents our state: shrimp, crawfish, a little bit of oysters, Gulf fish.
We're just super proud to represent Colorado, and it's amazing to be a part of this event, and just can't be happier.
What'd you cook up here today?
So we made rainbow trout with corn variations, sweet corn, popped sorghum, peaches, and dill flowers. It was really just all about Colorado and fish.
Kind of in shock. I was, you know, it's always nerve-wracking when they're counting down as to the placements. So it's kind of a relief to be called at least first as a third place winner, and we're just thrilled, man. It's our first time out here, and we're very proud and honored to have gone to third place.
What did you cook here today?
We did a shrimp hash crusted parrotfish with a mangrove crab and corn bisque.
What do you think of the 17 dishes you've tasted so far?
Great American seafood. Love the way everything was prepared. The chefs did an amazing job, and happy to be here.
Fantastic. Everybody's really put a lot of heart and soul into everything that they made, and it's been a really wonderful experience.
I'm looking for something that gives me a new perspective on seafood, a dish I may have never tasted, a new way of, a new technique, a new way of treating the ingredients, and a great representation of the state's seafood.
So I think the most important thing is just taste the product, showcase it, highlight it. That's the focus, but I also like seeing these other chefs from different places bring some of their ingredients from where they're from. I saw some nice morels and lobster mushrooms from Washington State with the chef from Washington. But clarity, nice clean presentations, a lot of restraint, focus. I think is very important because sometimes it can be a little too much, but it's about the seafood here, which is great to be here, so thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a great competition, a great crowd, the enthusiasm, and we're excited about the new king of seafood.
I was a former king of seafood, and this year's competition absolutely blew me away. 17 great chefs, probably the best food I've ever seen in this competition, and to have a state like, or one of our territories like Guam here was such an honor and so amazing. I can't wait to see what happens next year.
How can people get more information?
You can go to louisianatravel.com and click on to our seafood page and learn more about all the great places to eat around Louisiana and eat good Louisiana seafood.